going to your place, and now you got your
I think it just comes out. It just comes out in certain songs, you know. Just a part of who I am. The reason I love punk rock is because at that point in time, I was very angry, confused teenager, you know, and that type of music really connected with me. I loved it. I loved what it meant. I felt like it was something that I could be a part of, you know. So it just comes out the way it comes out, you know. It's just part of who I am. It's definitely, it's really challenging with this occupation, you know, because you're gone so much. So I'm constantly flying home as much as I can, even if I'm home for like a day and a half, just so I can see my kids. I video chat every day with them, so I can be with them at like breakfast or dinner or whatever, you know, and we get to talk and I get to hear about their day, but it's hard, you know, because I want to be there. So I got to do this, so it's challenging, but it's like the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Get down 'cause you know that it's alright.
That's a good one.
I would say to those guys, lighten the fuck up. Really. I mean, I think back then, everything was so serious. Everything was such a big deal. It was a major label record deal, and the pressure was on us. And I don't think we took the time I didn't take the time to enjoy the process and enjoy what was going on, because there was so much pressure to make hit records and to please people. And from the moment he and I talked about putting this band back together and getting these guys as our band members, it's been about music first and enjoying the process, and that's guided everything that I've done since 2005.
Yeah, I would just say to those guys, stay out of the results and listen to your gut, because it's always right. That would have been better.
It was an unfortunate circumstance. We were at Trees in Dallas, Texas. I think it was one of the first sold-out shows that this band's ever done. And the guitar went up in the air, it came down on my face, and it was a mess. I had a white t-shirt on, too, which was pretty...
Well, you gotta understand it.
Yeah.
It was so humid that day, so hot. There was like moisture dripping from the ceiling. Everybody was just soaked, so...
Yeah.
His guitar was
So I bust my nose, right, and it's bleeding, and I go over to my tech, and I get a towel, and Josh is like, what the fuck, man? Finish the show. Come on. And I go back out.
I didn't know he broke his nose. I felt terrible.
Finished the show. We did like 3 encore songs, and then I went and got it stitched up.
I was after him. I go, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, he's got blood all over his chest and stuff.
And he says to me,
like, I hit my nose with the guitar, and I'm like,
and he goes,
I go, who cares? It looks good. You look like Sid Vicious.
Dude, it looks rad. Let's go. So we finished the show, and then I did the tour with big. I had black eyes, black and blue nose, stitches across my nose, and then after the tour I couldn't breathe out of it, so I got it.
Felt horrible.
Now I can breathe. But yes, I mean, I think that's just kind of a testament to my level of stupidity and commitment.
Yeah. He's a warrior. We're all warriors. We've all had things going on with us, and we get on stage no matter what,
We were in a mall, and he encouraged me to get my first camera, and then when we were on Crew Fest, Nikki would help me and teach me. I don't know if I'll release anything. I did a book for these guys for the holidays. I've sold a few prints here and there, but I mean, it's not really the focal point of what's going on for me right now. But it's still a way for me to be creative and also kind of blow off steam, or while we're out here, because we play an hour and a half in the day or something like that, and there's 23 other hours in the day. So it gets me outside. I get to stay in the moment. I can see the cities that we play instead of just being in the parking lot.
I actually started playing a little bit later. I lived in Italy until my family moved to Los Angeles for me to go to college, and that's kind of when I started to develop that interest and passion. And I had already thought it was too late to start, but once I did get going, it all happened pretty fast.
Much my world can take. We must do something.
Sex chips.
Yes, we heard.
Yeah, that seems to be.
Yeah, let's hear about this. I want to hear about this.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh, my friend Paul Miles, he did one of the Motley book, The Dirt, and I met him, and we had a lot of mutual friends, and he told me who else was going to be on it, and so there's a list of guys, but I saw that Lemmy was going to do it, and my friend Ginger was going to do it, and I know they're pretty funny guys, so I figured, all right, I'll do it if those guys do it, and I thought it would kind of disappear, but it hasn't.
That was the internet.
It is a website and a way to bring awareness to becoming a donor for organs or organ donation. And my father had to have a dual lung transplant back when we were on the KISS tour. So he had a sickness, an illness for 3 years that had basically brought him from being a normal person that could walk around and do normal things like we do to a person who could barely brush his teeth. Pulmonary fibrosis, which is a deterioration of the lung tissue, which enables you to not have oxygen. So you never really, you hear about stories and you hear about your friends and maybe another family member or something, but when it hits somebody that close to you, you kind of get really into what's going on and become very aware of what's up. And a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about it as far as religion or politics or whatever their hang-up may be, but it's a really great thing when somebody can give life to somebody else and extend their life. And it's sad that somebody has to pass, but it's also very exciting that a little girl can get a liver and and kidneys and grow up to be, an adult and have kids and the whole shebang. So I'm really a big supporter of that, and there's a lot of other musicians that are because they've had the same situation. So
Without you here, I'm gonna need some.
Yeah, it all came from a book that I read called A Child Called It, and it's a pretty well-known book, and it was a series of books actually. That was the first one. But we did this book and we wrote 2 songs, Rescue Me and A Child Called It, and they just heard about it and they contacted us, and we did a show in Irving Plaza in New York, sold it out and raised $10,000, and we just saw them in Arizona, and it was Child Abuse Awareness Month, which was April, and we just said something over the microphone, and if anybody wanted to donate and stuff, but we'll probably do something with them in the future, get up with them.
Well,
lots of bombs. No, I'm kidding.
The Brazilian wax.
I think all of us have been trying to get here with a rock and roll band to Brazil for so long. Have you ever played here before?
No.
So it's such a great experience for us. The fans, all the fans in South America have been great, but what we've heard about Brazil is that they go off like nowhere else. So we're very excited for tonight's show.
You're supposed to be the most passionate in the whole world. Yeah. So we'll see.
We'll see.
On the